Internet shutdown, curfew, police crackdown, today's story of India. And the government, it seems, is not being able to control the narrative. Cruel irony. The ruling party was called the master of communication. They aced social media. They were on top of the curve when it came to digital messaging. And now their government is failing to quell a protest that is spreading through social media. So what do? Shut the internet. Section 144 of the Criminal Procedure Code is being imposed and implemented in letter and spirit. Yes, the government has the mandate to enact and pass laws, even controversial ones. Yes, the government must ensure that there is no violence. But if the government's agencies stifle peaceful protests, then it betrays their lack of confidence. On Wion Edit, we'll discuss why this is not about a bill anymore. There's a much bigger issue to be addressed. Do you know about the Parker principle? With great power comes great responsibility. Be it Spider-Man or the government, this holds true. It is important to address the issue of illegal migrants in India, yes. It is important to ensure there is no violence. But the brute majority should not allow a government to force a law whose constitutional validity is now sub judice and suppress any opposition to that law. Here's another question that we must ask. What is the need for Section 144 in so many parts of this country? If people protest a controversial law in a peaceful manner, what is the problem? If it's not peaceful, yes, there's a problem. We've seen images from Ahmedabad and elsewhere. And that is not right. But why should civil disobedience warrant the arrest of scholars? Isn't it the basis of Indian democracy? How long can Section 144 be imposed and public services be affected? Some Indian citizens are against a citizenship law. Should the government stifle their voices or listen to them? And I should mention this here. Today is the death anniversary of two proud sons of India, two freedom fighters who were hanged to death by the British on this same day in 1927. Ramprasad Bismil, one of the founders of the Hindu Republican Association, he was also associated with the Arya Samaj, and Ashfaqullah Khan, another freedom fighter of the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, two young men who laid down their lives to uphold their beliefs. Their examples are being cited today. The government is losing control on the narrative, as I said. Even its traditional supporters in the civil society are calling this move the proverbial last straw. So what should the government do? After all, it got the bill cleared in Parliament with due procedure. It should wait for the Supreme Court hearing. It should allow peaceful protests. It should prevent violence and, most importantly, address the concerns of the people. It will help in two ways: shed the perception that the government is partial and muscular, and send out a strong message on the health of the Indian democracy to the people of India and the rest of the world. The government's brazen and aggressive posturing on this law has attracted criticism. Even external players are exploiting the situation to peddle lies about India. The government can solve this by allowing, ensuring, and if possible, facilitating peaceful protests. Absolute majority may allow governments to pass laws, but implementation can only be achieved with public participation. Yes, the people of India voted the BJP back to power in May 2019 with overwhelming numbers. Yes, the BJP is the biggest political force in this country, but no, a big mandate does not mean absolute power. It does not mean inflexibility. If anything, it means more responsibility. If some citizens want to register dissent, then a responsible government should allow it. Dissent is good for democracy. To gag these voices sets us on a dangerous path. This country was founded upon and has been built on civil disobedience. And remember, Section 144 is not a tool for suppression. It is meant to be used when there is an emergency situation. Let there be calm, let there be peaceful protests. And I repeat for the umpteenth time, peaceful being the operative word here. Violence should not be tolerated. There's a thin line, though, between being decisive and being dictatorial. The government must ensure it is not crossing that line.